Hi, my rosebuds. How are y'all doing? How was your week? What has been happening in your world or just in the world itself? Share something that's been going on with you. I want to hear what's going on with you too. It would be nice to, get you guys feedback and not just feedback, but to share what's happening with you. If you can relate to some things that I've shared or I've said before, that would be awesome. I have been well. I could feel a little bit better. My body hasn't been feeling 100, and that's because of a diagnosis that I received about 2 months ago. It was right before I traveled away to Dubai. But other than that, I am doing wonderful. My heart, mind, and soul is in a wonderful place, and I'm happy. I'm actually content. If you see me looking across here, I'm looking at my phone because it's a distraction. But yeah, I'm expecting a message. So yeah, but I'm good. I'm really doing good, and I'm just happy to be here with you guys. Another night, another evening, another day, wherever you are watching this at whatever time that you are watching this. I must share that I am free from COVID. Yes, 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 yes. I don't know if any of you ever had it before or any of your family members ever had it before, but I know by now that most of us have had it at least once. And if you haven't had it, as the folks say, it's only a matter of time before you get it. I'm sorry. I have my contacts in and it's kind of like annoying me a little bit. But anyway, it's funny. I went the entire 2 years without catching it or having it. And then, out of left field, here I go, getting it. But I guess, as they say, it was a matter of time before I received it. I mean, a lot of people in my office actually did get it. Even when I had it, there were a few people that I heard that actually did contract it. So, yeah, it's not a pretty thing. And although I wasn't down and out with it, it had me in bed for at least a good 4 days, 2 days of which, I had fever. And that kind of killed me a little bit because I had no appetite and I was just weak and just fatigued from it. But thank God I'm here. I'm well. I overcame and I'm happy. I'm just happy to be here, be alive. I'm not sure if any of you or your family members you lost anyone from COVID. But if you did, I pray that you don't, if you haven't. And if you did, my heart goes out to you and your family and your friends. And I pray that you guys will heal from it and find strength in each other. And we'll get through this. It's not the end of the world, although it took quite a number of us from our families. It wasn't easy. I know it wasn't easy for me because during that time, I don't know if it was the same with you. I couldn't watch the news. I just I couldn't get on anything where anything disastrous was happening. I actually couldn't. So, I'm just glad that I'm here, you're here, and I hope that nobody that watches me or shares my channel and my videos. I hope everybody is well and safe. Um, I wanted to kind of get right into what I really want to talk to you guys about tonight. More or less like a share because I've been through something similar or going through something similar. I'm not in the space itself where it's happening directly to me, but I'm affected by it. It's about parenting the parent. I don't know how many of you have gone through this or you're doing it right now. And I know if you are doing it or have gone through it, whichever, I know that you know that it isn't easy. It's not something that you adjust to like overnight. I don't want to sound too scripted, but I did make, notes for myself. And forgive me if you see me sidetracking off on and on the screen, because I'm trying to pick up my points where I wrote them down. So forgive me for having a paper. Even newscasters have papers. But anyway, um, but like I said, like I was asking, I don't know if any of you have ever dealt with that or gone through it. And if you have, I'd love to know how you actually cope, or how are you coping. Um, yeah, like I was saying before, it's hard to actually adjust to basically your new role of basically being a parent. Um, when a loved one or a parent actually suddenly needs your help on a daily basis with everyday, simple tasks that they usually perform themselves, in the past. It's kind of hard. It's nerve-wracking, I'm sure, for them, and I know it is for us as well. The caregivers. It can be incredibly difficult. That much I can tell you. But like I said before too, it doesn't happen overnight. So I did have the pleasure of my mom living with me for several years, actually. I wasn't parenting her, so to speak, but I was more like, her guardian. There were times that I had to take her to the doctor. I had to be with her, and I had to fill her prescriptions. There were times when I had to help her get dressed. She wasn't crippled or invalid, but she needed help sometimes because she was in pain, or something that she probably couldn't do, like maybe buttoning something or zipping something. So I still had to help her because she wasn't not self-sufficient, where she would do these simple things by herself. But for the most part, she did well. She was very independent. I didn't go to all the doctor's appointments with her, but whenever I could, I would go. I had a job where it wasn't part-time. I started off part-time, but then it was a little bit demanding. And although, when you have a new job, you don't want to like miss a day, or you don't want to take advantage of, calling out or being late, or, stuff like that. So that's what I had to do. So there were times where she actually went to the doctor by herself. So while trying to make sure that she was okay, and eating right, living right, just doing the things that an older elderly person, would do. I also had my son, so I had to try and also be there for him. He had school, I had to do homework stuff, fix dinner when necessary, or if I could. My mom used to do some of that too, so it wasn't like she was down and out herself, but it was great. When she did it, it was actually good. But she, I'm sorry, something popped up on my screen. But she held her own. She definitely held her own. So while, taking care of my son, trying to make sure she was okay, I had to basically show up for my job. And then, I had the household to run, basically, taking care of the bills, food, grocery, stuff like that, laundry. So I still needed some me time, or time for myself, and to make sure that, things were running as they should. Um, I'm also going through something similar, as I said, parenting the parent. But I'm not physically in the position, but it's a case where it affects me. It affects me. Sorry. I could share stories about others who are going through this, and maybe I should have probably had someone come on, like be a guest and probably talk about it. But I just kind of wanted to do this one on my own, and get your guys' feedback for sure. Um, it When you see them in a certain way, in a certain capacity, um, it does affect you. It really does affect you, and I know how they also might feel. I may not know 100%, but I have a pretty good idea of what they're going through. But as you know, we have to take care of them. They gave birth to us. If it's your mom, both of them, they raised you as best they could, and guess it's time for you to sort of give back to them and to be there for them. I know people that actually can't physically do what they need to do for their parent or their loved one, and in their eyes, it's best if they get or seek a professional, or a professional caregiver, or somebody with caregiving skills, who knows what they're doing and know how to handle situations like that. It could be the person may have a stroke. They could be probably bedridden for whatever the reason. Um, Loss of a limb. It could be numerous things where you actually have to basically be there, and they have to rely on you like 100%. But I could go on and get into numerous stories of things to share about situations like these, where your parent basically totally depends on you, or your loved one totally depends on you. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to share some tips, some suggestions. Um, if you will, I'm going to read off of my notes that I made. So forgive me if I keep looking away again. And I hope that some of them you can relate to. And I hope you can relate to this video, actually. I know a lot of us have parents that depend on us, and or loved ones. It could be even a husband and a wife. It could be a brother or a sister. It could be an aunt or an uncle. You might be their sole provider, caregiver. You might be the only person that they have that, they need you. So without further ado, I'm going to start reading off my tips. So if you can, make notes, take notes. And if you have any tips, I would love to hear them. I'd love for you to leave them in the comment section below. My first one is, be patient with yourself. You are going to make mistakes. Things are going to get overwhelming. That much I can tell you, 150% it is going to happen. There may be times when you want to just get in your car and drive away as fast as possible. It is all right to be patient with yourself. It is all right. You will never get these last weeks, months, or years with your parent or whoever the loved one is. You may not get them back. So cherish them. It's worth it. And I'm sure you will do that. My second tip is, you need to care for yourself as well. You can't be an effective caregiver if you don't take care of yourself. Make sure that you take time out of your day-to-day responsibilities to practice some self-care. And I mean that. That goes across the board, no matter what it is that you're doing, no matter what kind of job you're in, what kind of situation you're in, you need to actually take some time for yourself. Prepare a healthy meal. You might probably want to take a yoga class, or there are classes at the gym. If you join a gym, you can do a class at the gym, something, different to kind of get your mind off of what's happening at home. Go for a run. If you're a runner, go for a run. Or you can get a massage, a facial, or a spa mani and pedi, which I love to get. Just basically do something for you on a regular basis. Just don't forget about you, that you need care as well. My third tip, look for the joy. We know that caring for your parent or the loved one can be hard, okay? It doesn't take much or long to get bogged down in the difficulty, both the physical weight of the tasks and the emotional turmoil that comes with the changes in your life. Try not to focus on the negative. That's definitely a good point. Try not to focus on the negative, but look for opportunities to focus on the positive. And I'm sure there are many instances that you can actually find a positive in what you're doing with your parent or your loved one. Listen to them when they tell you stories or share their memories that would more than likely be forgotten without them. And you can do one better. Actually, you can do one better. You can record and share them with the rest of the family. We live in a world now where everything is being recorded, and I mean everything. So why not these moments as well? Get them down, record them. If you have to write them down, write them down. It doesn't matter how, but save them. Find the joy in both the big and small moments, and you should be able to see your attitude improve. Look for the joy in the big moments and the small moments. Okay, my fourth tip, remember who you're dealing with. It is easy to forget in the thick of it all that the person that is dependent on you now is still your parent or your loved one. Could be a sibling. The dynamics of your relationship may change. The fact is that your parent deserves the same respect and dignity which he or she has always expected from you. Mom, dad, wife, husband, fiance, fiancée. They may need more help, but they are still mom, dad, husband, wife, fiance, fiancée, sister, brother, whoever it may be. They still need your help. My fifth one, listen more than you talk. When, I've heard somebody else say this as well, when certain uncomfortable conversations must take place, it is generally better to do less talking and listen more. No one appreciates being lectured to, and the ones dependent on you are no exception. And if it's your parent you're taking care of, that they don't like that. Them not like it. Encourage them to talk freely about their problems and concerns by asking questions that will help to pull out their true feelings, bring out the true feelings that's in them. Avoid interrupting them. Definitely avoid interrupting them. No judgments. Just try and make time for some good conversations so that when the time comes to deal with the harder things, it's more manageable and you will have a level of mutual respect. So if you are one of those people, and I think I'm one of them, ask questions. I never did, and I regret that. To this very day, I do regret that. But that will also, when you have conversations with them, that will also help to take alleviate some of the stress that they may be going through and take the pressure off of them, whereas they know they're ill, they know whatever ailment they have, whatever, their situation, their circumstance, they know it. So when they try to tell you stuff and share memories and, tell stories, allow them, take them in. And like I said, if you can, record them, jot them down somewhere. That would definitely help. So you can even share it with your kids. And like I said earlier, before, other family members, you can share it with them later. All right. My sixth tip, it's ease into your new role. This kind of covers a few things that I said before, actually. But while the position, as a primary caregiver basically might put your emotions in overdrive, which it will, it is wise to just ease into it if possible. This can be done by slowly making changes that will not disrupt their routines dramatically. Now, if it's a case where, let's just say, a stroke victim, now there's no making slow drastic changes, or make not drastic changes. There's no way for you to make slow changes. Everybody have to adjust basically at the same time. Now, the parent or the loved one is the person that's going to go slower than you. You are already on the ball and thinking, okay, what next? What next? What next? Oh, I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to. So you're the one that's going to get the ball rolling, while they are in, like, basically, I don't know, first gear, let's just say. Or they may be at neutral. They may not be even moving yet or doing whatever they need to do yet. But you're the one that's going to, like, kickstart everything. So while some instances require you to go slow into transition mode, some don't. So just be mindful of that. And I just basically covered that. I was just about to say, if you're being thrown in head first, then, I suggest also that you seek immediate care advice, because you may not know how to handle it. You may think you know, and you may have talked to other people that may have encountered or are in or living this same situation, but not everybody's story or everybody's situation is the same. It differs from one person to the next. So it's best if you can probably maybe talk to, if it's a hospital or a home or even your doctor, it's best to try to get some serious medical advice, professional advice, basically. Not every situation, again, is the same. So try not to take the advice from too many people. That's basically what that is. Number 7, remember the golden rule. In all your interactions with them, please, please, please express your love in word and in deed. So whatever you're doing, make sure that it comes from a place of love. And when you tell them, don't just tell them because you just want them to, like, some of them will ask, love me? Want me? Love me? Me and your mother, me and your father, Make sure that they feel it and they see it. That's basically what that's saying. Treat them, and this is a very good point, and I always say this, you treat people as you would like to be treated. If you were in a similar situation, wouldn't you want to be treated with love and care? They want the same. So kindness, empathy, and compassion can smooth your transition to being a responsible caregiver. You want me to read that again for you? You want me to read it again? Just remember the golden rule, let me say. Please express your love in word and deed, and treat them as you would like to be treated. All right, number 8. Coming to the end. I hope I don't bore you too much, but I'm coming to the end. Number 8. Involve other family members. And I know that may be hard for some of you, because I know some of you and the family members don't get along. Want to not get along for nothing. Worse if them live far, or worse if them have like a whole bag of things going on. Yeah, I understand. Trust me, I understand. But don't feel like you have to care for your parent or your loved one alone. Don't feel that way. Do not. Reach out to your siblings, aunts, uncles, and other family members to get help. You don't have to do it alone. It is not required. Not because you may be living with the person means that you can't ask somebody else for help. Often enough, they will be willing to help in any way they can, be it moral support, financial assistance, a vacation coverage, or whatever it may be. You may just need a night out. You may need to hang out with your girlfriends or your guy friends or something. So, hey, there's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, can you come over Saturday night, or you can come Friday night, or something. It's not hard. So it's good to get other family members involved. Let them know the situation of the parent or whoever the loved one is. Let them know, what's going on. If you don't live with them or close by, it's great to keep in contact with the caregiver. I have seen where, basically caregivers have gotten burnt out because they never asked for help. And, it had been pretty much doing everything, everything. And part of that is based on the fact that they were the only one living in the home at the time. So yes, it does, it plays a lot on your emotional psyche and your physical psyche. And I did say that in one of my tips as well. So you just have to be careful. And a reminder again, take time for yourself, which is what this is also saying. So if you can reach out to a family member to cover you for one night or a day or something, then go right ahead and do it. Even for a weekend, nothing is wrong with that. If you step away from the situation or the circumstance you're in, nothing is wrong with that. Do not feel guilty. A lot of people are guilted by that. And I know that you don't need to put yourself through that. Okay. When you do that, try to take on all the responsibilities by yourself. And you know that the person has family or, even another parent or something. If there's a husband and a wife, you're probably taking care of one. When you feel like you're doing it alone, you draw resentment towards them or towards the next person, feeling that they should be doing what you're doing or they should be jumping around. Basically, if they don't live with you and you don't ask them, they won't know. If it's a situation where they're in the household with you, they should know what to do. I don't think they should actually have to ask you. You could just simply say, okay, John, I'm going to take mom to, whatever. You just have to be proactive. Get involved. That's basically, what I'm trying to say. So that person alone don't have to do it. But if you don't live there and the person that's caregiving, they actually would need to ask for help so they don't feel like they're all alone in this. Whether it's for you to call them, you can call them and check on them. You can call and talk to them, give them some support, moral support. That's what that is. But yeah, you just have to get your family members involved, basically. I know it may be hard because some people don't know how to ask for help. And I know that it might be hard, but yeah, really and truly, you don't need to do it by yourself. You are not alone, and they have family members, so reach out to them. Now, those are my tips for you. I want to know if you're going through anything where you have to take care of your parent or even a loved one. I know people that they're not married. I shouldn't say people. I know of a particular person. They're not married, but they are actually caregiving the next person. Let's just say me and my boyfriend. He gets ill. Now, we probably don't live together, but he has nobody else. So it falls on me because everybody knows, okay, he has a woman, he has whatever. So now it becomes my responsibility. Now, where are the other people? Are they willing to help? I mean, they know of the situation, but have they helped? Have they reached out to me, or have they reached out to the person? I think it's a little selfish if they actually do have family and you don't get moral support, even some financial support. I mean, I'm not saying to pay a hospital bill or pay a doctor's visit, but you could probably help with food. You could probably help with something, basically, because now this person can't work. They can't move. Not sure if they're getting any kind of income any other way, but then, how fair is that? Life isn't fair. We know that. And we know that things happen to us and they happen for a reason. I like to say, God don't like ugly. And when God see you probably doing something, or you're in a way where God say that not suit you, and kind of me feel like him cut you down to size. Me feel like him do something for show you something. Him humble you, him really humble you, which is not always the case. I'm not speaking to everybody about that, but for me, that's what I would say to myself. Um, but yeah, I know that person who is taking care of someone who is, they're not married, they're not, I don't think they were living together, but they're not married. That much I do know. Young couple, they're my age, so it's not like they're old. The next person that I know, because of the extent of his illness, I don't think they had the skills to care for him, much less alone, probably even patience. And some people run into financial difficulties too by doing that. So I know of someone who actually had to put their dad in a home. My question to you is, would you do that? Would you put your parent or a loved one in a home? My second question is, if you were not married to your guy or your girl, you probably were not living together either, would or do you think it's your responsibility to actually take care of them? They have family, they have kids. Why is it on you or your responsibility to take care of them? I would love to hear from you how you feel about that. If you have gone through anything like that, whether it's with a parent or a loved one, it could be a sibling, it could be an aunt or uncle, it doesn't matter. But to parent, be the parent to someone who basically solely depends on you at this point. How do you cope? How do you deal? Tell me if my points were valid. I think it was my 9 pointers. I think I gave you a lot, right? I was doing my homework a little bit. You better be proud of me. Let me brush my shoulder. Let me pat myself. But yeah, I've been wanting to lay this out for you for a while, but I had to get my bearings together. I want to talk more on this. I'm probably get deeper into it because there's another side to this that I want to touch on. But yeah, don't have the regrets that I had where I didn't sit and talk to my mom, even my dad, much. Ask them questions. I asked her a few questions here and there, but it was like nothing stood out. Nothing was significant enough for me. I don't know. And it wasn't until when I went to Ireland to visit my brother. He had a vacation home there, and we met up with him there. And when we got there, at this point, my mom had passed, and we were all supposed to go to Ireland. She was supposed to be with us, but she passed before we actually did get there. And when we got there, and he asked us, he started asking us questions, and me and one of my sisters, we didn't have the answers. And I wondered why it was so important for him to know all of this. Like, why you want to know that? Why you want to know this? Did mom say this? And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I'm getting emotional. It wasn't until years later that it actually hit me. There's a lot of things that I don't know, and I wish I did ask. My dad was hard to talk to. A lot of people who know him, and I'm sure people who's going to watch this or who watches this probably can relate. My dad wasn't an easy camper, and he was very strict. So there was just stuff that, I don't know, we didn't ask, we didn't talk about. Even when I got older and we started having a good relationship, started running jokes, dirty jokes and stuff like that. That stuff I would never do with my dad. But it never dawned on me to ask questions because, I don't know, I guess we were so sheltered, or I was so sheltered, that some things just never crossed my mind. And I see it now. I have a cousin that, she asks questions. She wants to know who's who, and and it's great. And I wish I did that. So in you having to take care of your parent or whoever your loved one is, find time to actually sit with them and talk with them. Have some good conversations, have some good laughs. It will be good. I'm not gonna lie, I wish I could get those moments back with mommy. But don't make that happen to you. I love you guys. I thank you for watching as always. And thank you for being my rosebuds and my heartbeats. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. How could you forget? It's going across the screen for the entire show. I love you guys. Take care. See you soon.